Yeah.
Take it a minute.
All right, we're gonna get started. I want to thank everybody for being here today, coming out to the town hall meeting. Before we just kind of go into the town hall meeting, I wanted to make sure that I give your property management staff an opportunity to say a few things and introduce her staff. I appreciate Ms. Vanessa for, I know she's been out knocking on doors and inviting people out. It's apparent because of the turnout. So, Ms. Vanessa, I'll let you introduce anybody that you want to introduce or say a few words.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My lovely residents. Just want to reassure you, staff is in the back putting the trucks up and everything, but just wanted to reassure you, you already know that if you call us, we come. And if you have any issues, and you come and you complain to us and let us know. If Miss Vanessa can't fix it, I'll find somebody that can. But most of all, I want to appreciate everyone for participating in our beautification awards this year. And I look forward to them starting over next year. And if you need me or my staff or anything, or Mr. McGinney, he has an open door policy as well. If you don't like what I'm telling you, call him. He'll call me on the partner or anybody for the residents, because I know he loves all of this place. If you need me, you know, call as usual. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all need to give y'all property manager a round. They do an awesome job. And before we introduce resident services, I wanted to just recognize our public housing director of public housing, Ms. Terry Boyd in the back. She is responsible for making sure all the property managers are well equipped to do what they do to serve this community. I wanted to give our deputy executive director an opportunity to come forward and say a few words. I want to put her on the spot for a minute. So we're going to invite her up to the front.
Good evening. My name is Terkesa Coleman Lacey. And yeah, Tony likes to do this to me, put me on the spot, right? But listen, I just wanted to stand and say that I know that you guys have so appreciative of Miss Vanessa. She's amazing. And it's evident by this room. So, but if you need us, please let us know. Like Miss Vanessa said, give her a call. If you can't get it resolved from her, give us a call, because we want to be able to help what we can. So I thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate seeing you all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Terkesa's been with us for a little over maybe 3.5, 4 months. She comes to us from the city of Huntsville Community Development, and we definitely appreciate her and all she brings to the table. I wanted to also recognize my executive assistant, Ms. Jacqueline Abujo in the back. She's taking pictures, and if you call the office, she's the first line of duty. She keeps me out of a lot of trouble. So she's the person, if you want to get in touch with me, you need to get her number. And we'll make sure that we help when there's a need for us to intervene. At this time, I wanted to turn the program over to our resident services team, starting out with our supervisor of resident services, Ms. Patrice Body, and she's going to introduce her staff and talk about some of the programs that hopefully we can connect you all with, and then toward the end of the program, we're just going to talk about maybe some of the programs that we'd like to bring to the community. So Patrice, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you. It is great to see so many residents at this town hall. I'm very excited, and I thank you all for being able to come out. I know that you probably seen us yesterday, myself, Frederick Whitlow, and Quentin Young out knocking on doors, talking to residents, inviting you all, encouraging you all to come out to the town hall. Because I know there's so much information that you can learn here just for your community. So I'm in resident services, and so we have several different self-sufficiency programs that are designed to benefit all the residents, from babies all the way up to our wonderful seniors. And so some of the programs that we have would be, and I'll have also I want to introduce our staff and maybe have them come and just say 2 or 3 sentences just about their program and encourage you. Mr. Frederick Whitlow is our youth and family coordinator. You all probably have seen him a lot out here. He comes out and visits the troop, the scout hut here, and works with the kids and the volunteers just to kind of help with the programs and things like that. And so he is our youth and family coordinator, and he can tell you just briefly and just run through maybe some of the different youth programs that we have.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, let's want to breathe. Let's try one more time. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I'm Fred Whitlow. I do the youth and family services, which means anything that you're concerned about in terms of working with your kids from 0 to really young adult. I'm that guy. So we have scholarships from $2,500 all the way up to $17,000 for public housing residents. We have a FADA scholarship, ARA, and several others. I also work with all of our youth partners. Of course, you know, the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club North Alabama, and so on and so on and so on. So if you have kids, you have youth, teenagers, you have youth council working on redeveloping since the pandemic. We also do some other things that involve family, working with families. So if you're a mom or dad or a guardian and you're working intricately with your kids, please let me know, or let your property manager know. She'll hit me up. We'll roll out. You all see us all the time out here. And so that's kind of the core things. And then we do midnight basketball. We do CERT tournaments. That's where our kids in public housing, and we compete against other housing authorities across the country. And so we have one this year. Since the pandemic is opening, we're going to do Opelika, and we always come back with first or second. So that's what's going on. There's a lot more. Again, get in touch with your property manager, or you just, you know, if you see me around here, just say, hey, want to holler at you. All right, that's what I do. You recruit? You play ball? Okay, you acting like you play ball. That's like a yes or no. Okay, so holler at me, please. Okay, that's that.
Thank you, Fred. So if you're interested in youth programs and things for your children, Mr. Whitlow will have that information. One of the cool things that one of the things you did mention is string. So if you're interested in string instruments and learning more about that for your children, being able to play the violin, so tutoring as well, and mentoring. So definitely get with Mr. Whitlow at the end of the program. So one of the other programs that we have is homeownership. At some point in everybody's life, you want to be able to, or have that dream of owning a home, that American dream. So Mr. Quentin Young is our homeownership coordinator, and he can tell you a little bit about the homeownership program.
Hey, how you guys doing? I know Fred is a tough act to follow, but essentially our homeownership program, we focus on everything from maybe starting from the bottom and just don't know anything about financial education. We do that. We're in the process of setting up workshops. We have partnerships with multiple banks. If you just need a bank account somewhere just to start from, being able to build your credit. And we've also been working really hard. I've been working really hard since I got here to make sure that we have partnerships with banks to be able to get you guys high quality products, low interest rates, a lot of times 100% finance and help on closing costs, no origination fees, no mortgage insurance. Banks have a lot of products that they don't really tell people about that are centered towards low to moderate income. And we've been able to kind of work with quite a few. We probably work with probably like 6 of them at this point to be able to make sure that you guys have access to that kind of stuff. So if you focus on kind of just building your credit, if you don't know where to start, just come talk to me. We really trying to just make it happen so you guys can not only just own a home, but be able to kind of establish wealth, be able to pass something down to your kids, your parents.
Thank you. So you too can own a home. So if you didn't think it was possible, it's definitely possible at this time with just the different government funding and programs and things that have changed. So you too can have that dream. So definitely see Quentin Young if that is a dream of yours. You thought about it, you're really not sure. So definitely see him at the end of the program. We do have a table at the back where we have different other self-sufficiency programs, information about that, such as the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. We used to have. So the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, I did see our staff here, but I'm not sure where they are right now. Sakina Bowden is the FSS supervisor. Ms. Kimberly Fern is one of the FSS coordinators as well. So if you're thinking about that, and that program helps you be able to establish an escrow savings account where you can help when you move out public housing into that home, and you can have some money into that savings account that you can take with you to start your next goal and your next step, your path in life. So we also have our workforce development program. So if you're interested in employment programs, Ms. Lindsay Pollard, who's in the back there, she knows all about workforce development. So if you want to be able to increase your skills, you've never done a resume before, you just want to improve your resume, then of course she has all that information that can also help you in the different job training programs. We partner with a lot of different programs, including one, Drake. You want me to go ahead and Drake? Okay. Including Drake, we partnered with them on several different things, and they're also here today, some of their staff here, to tell you about the adult education program that they have, and probably some other different programs that they have as well. So I'll invite Drake to come up and talk about the program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lilia Fury, and I'm Rose Monroe. We're just here to really let you know that we are part of the community, and we are part of the services that's offered to everyone. So please come and see us. We do have many flyers in the back, and also a sign-in sheet. If there's anything in there that you're interested in, just give us your name, your contact, and you can maybe leave it to in the office. We'll swing by once a week and pick up these forms. And so if you guys want to know more about many of our programs and everything we offer is free for everyone. If you need help as far as getting higher educations, we're also here to help. So just let you know we are here, and we're here available for you. So come and see us at Drake.
One more thing, we have a raffle that we're gonna do some gift cards, and we'll, as the program proceeds, we'll just put one in your hand, and then we'll do it at the end, okay?
So we want to thank Patrice and her team at Resident Services for just sharing that information. But I want to touch on a couple of things, because sometimes you hear some information and you're like, yeah, right, that's not gonna happen for me. Well, last week we had a resident of our community close on a house for $250,000 because they were meeting with Mr. Young. And so, yeah, it can be you. And we don't just want to talk about workforce development. If you want to work, if you have people in your circle that want to work, we want to make sure that we put opportunities in front of you. Currently, we're working with Mazda Toyota. They need to hire 1,200 people. And if you want to work, we want to put you to work. And we don't want to just give you jobs that won't benefit your family. We want to put you in front of people that will help you obtain a livable wage. So please get with Ms. Vanessa. We're going to make sure that we get information out. They told me that their starting pay right now is $18.63. You know, that's a game changer. That's game changing resources. And I'll tell you this, we don't want you to be stuck right here.
Amen.
You know, our goal is to help you become self-sufficient.
Yes.
And one of the ways to do that is to get the employment that you need. And that's game-changing money. And they need 1,200 people today, right now. And you have to be flexible. And we have opportunities to help with transportation. We just bought a 18-passenger van that's just sitting. And we're going to go out of our way to help as long as we can, because that's what we're here to do. Also, I wanted to talk about an office that we just opened up. And you'll be hearing more about this office. It's called the Office of Resident Affairs. This office is going to allow residents an opportunity to call in, email us, to let us know what's going on. I know you have a good property management team back here, so you don't have as many concerns as some other communities, but you do have concerns that you might not feel comfortable talking about. So you're gonna have an opportunity to call this resident affairs number, email us. You're gonna be able to make sure that your concerns, or you might just have feedback that you wanna share with us. You're gonna be able to do that, and you're gonna have that platform to do that. And so we'll be making sure that we get that information out on all of our social media platforms. We'll be passing it out to all the property management teams throughout the city. We're gonna make sure that you have a platform to get your voices heard. And then the next thing that I want to touch up on is we have resident service. Mr. Whitlow talked about that. We want to make sure that young people in this community have a place to go, have resources. I mean, we opened up, I can remember being a kid coming over here and meeting with Mr. Ferrari back in the day. We want to make sure that our young people have something to do. Because if we don't provide something for them to do, somebody else is going to give them an opportunity to do something they ain't got no business doing. So we got to make sure that we provide the opportunities for them. And we're not talking about years down the road. We're talking about as soon as we can make this happen, we're going to put some programs out here in this community. All right, because it's needed. We got to make sure we have programs in the community. One of the reasons we're doing a town hall is I know sometimes you really don't get an opportunity to see the leadership of your agency. You know, you don't get an opportunity to see the people who are working for you. And I wanted to make sure that you all had an opportunity to meet not only your property management team, your maintenance team, but your resident service supervisor, your executive director, your deputy, the director of public housing. You know, we're working to make sure that you all have what you need. One of our #1 goals in our new strategic plan that we just put out in July was to help residents become more self-sufficient. For those who want to do that, we want to make sure that we provide the resources. We want to make sure that you all have the resources that you need to get to the next level. And that's important to me. It's important to our team. It's important that you all have a ton of resources. And then we want to make sure that you are able to have a platform where you can get your questions answered from the people who matter, the people who know what's going on. Because we know how gossip travels through the community. You hear things and you think it's legit, and a lot of times it's not legit. It's not real, it's not factual. And then we want to give you an opportunity to just kind of ask questions and see what's going on in your community and what we can do to work together to make communities a little bit better. Because again, you know, we all in this thing together. We all are trying to work to support your needs. I mean, we work for you all. Without you all, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have a job. So I wanted to make sure that you all understood that, you understand that, and that you have an opportunity and a platform to get your questions answered. A lot of times when you do a public town hall meeting, the residents are kind of nervous and what do we do wrong? No, there's nothing wrong. We want to make sure that you all can identify, that we can make sure that you see us and that we get your questions answered. So there's nothing wrong. We're going to be doing these a lot more often. I mean, today you might not have questions or feedback, but maybe the next time we do it out here in the community, you have a ton of feedback that you want to give us. We want to make sure that we truly identify this Office of Resident Affairs so that you can get your concerns to us in another platform. You might not feel comfortable asking questions in public, but we want to make sure that you all knew about the opportunities that were out here. And before we open it up to you all for feedback and questions, I wanted to also, Neil Andrews is our IT supervisor, and he had to step out, but we also have Gene here with the Housing Authority, and they've done an awesome job of making sure that all of these town halls have been online and that, you know, they're on our social media platforms as well. And Lindsay kind of serves two roles. Right now, she's doing her PR promotions, making sure this is on Facebook and Instagram, and just not to try to show out that we're doing this, but you know, I think it's important to let people know who we are and why we're here and why we're doing this. So I wanted to talk about this because it's very important, and I'll let Patrice talk about it first, and then I'll circle back up, and we're going to talk about the resident council just for a minute.
Just real quick, Ms. Vanessa has been so good with talking with a lot of residents, and recruiting residents for our resident council. So I think that you all are here tonight because you care about your community. You may have some ideas, or you want to see some changes or things happen. So I really do appreciate people all being here tonight. So what the resident council is, we really have a resident council in just about every community. The resident council is made up of just about 5 members. It can be more, but we need at least 5 members to have a duly elected resident council, and they serve as the voice for the community, for your community. So just for Searcy homes. So the resident council works in partnership with the Housing Authority to make suggestions on if there's improvements that are needed for your community, if there's ideas or organizations and things that you might want to work at and work with, and bring those activities in. You see something like Mr. McGinnis was saying about the youth. If you want to bring in activities and you see something, another agency that's doing outside in the Huntsville community, then you can bring them in and have them do those activities in your council through the resident council right here in your community. So I want to, and I may have talked with some of you all on the phone today about the resident council. Did I talk to anybody here that I spoke with? Okay, great, thanks. Oh yeah. So Miss Angela was on our resident council a couple of years back. So any questions, she definitely knows the answer about the resident council, but we want to get that started back again, and have another young lady who was on our council and helped us out in another community. So she knows a lot about it as well and really helped us out there. So we just want to see the community thrive, to see you all be able to have activities and different things going on here in your community. So definitely consider being a part of the resident council. It doesn't take too much of your time. We will love having you. We take trips at least once a year before COVID. But we hope to get back to that. And so I'm here to answer any questions at the end if you have those. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. This is so unprofessional, but kind of busy from time to time. But I at this time, what I want to do is, because I know that Miss Vanessa, you know, wasn't out there by herself. We want to give Jessie her props as well. You know. Let her shine a little bit. You know, let her shine a little bit. And we talked about FSS earlier, but because we didn't have a representative here, I'm gonna give Sakina an opportunity to wave her hand. And you know, I think we're full right now in that area, but we're going to talk about FSS as well, because family self-sufficiency is going to be important, because that's the tool that we're going to use to help our families go to that next level, and make sure that you all sign up when the spots become available for family self-sufficiency. So there's some great benefits in being in that program. So we want to give you an opportunity to do that. So I have a few minutes to answer any questions. If I can't answer them, we got the professionals here to get your questions answered. And there can't be too hard questions now. It's our first one, so we don't want the questions to be too hard, but anybody got any feedback or comments or questions that you want to ask us?
Back in the late '80s, early '90s, and verifiable in 2002 through 2006, Searcy Homes was considered a quiet zone for the train car. Is there a way we can redo that? I know people say, ain't no word.
Okay, so somebody taking notes, because I meet with the mayor at least once a month, and that's a legitimate question that we can ask him, and see how that was done through the city hall, and that will be something that we will put back on the agenda. So the next time we meet with the mayor, that will be something that we definitely address. And when you say quiet zone, there are certain times when you would not like to hear the horns coming through the neighborhood.
All night long. It's like every 2 hours. All night long. It's like every 2 hours. That was a good question, baby.
9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Yes. I done jumped out my bed pulling a muscle, having a dream. Get out my bed running.
I couldn't hear the last comment. Could you repeat that?
When they were in the daylight hours, when they were allowed to blow their horn, they were not allowed to blow it this side of the track. This entire area was a quiet.
Okay. All right, we'll get right back. We'll get on that. We'll definitely get on that. Any other questions, comments?
I had spoke with Ms. Jessica, like when something is going on, like we have rates and all that, and everybody's trying to get an apartment, you know, everybody is charging a fee for taking up space where they park it, you know, the Boy Scouts, they out.
Right.
Well, they come and take up our park here, and I figured that when they know when it's something is going on, we can have our Boy Scout boys taking in money if they want to park in our, you know, park spot and take up our spot. Let the boys make up money. They're not able to park for free over here, but they come and take up where the residents live at.
Amen.
And it's not fair.
Amen. That's another one. Amen.
They keep them paying a fee. So if they're gonna take up, you know, want to stop them taking a fee, let's earn our Boy Scouts some money over there and set them up that morning before the organization starts, so they can have some money and they won't be getting for free. All right.
I did owe it. I used to get so upset when they used to have a barbecue right here, and they just block it off.
I still do though.
So I totally understand that, and so that's something that we will definitely work on as well. I think that's a little bit easier for us to control at the housing authority. So we would have to figure out what we can do with the city on that one as well, because that is a legitimate concern. Because, you know, we have to make sure our residents are parking and that your spaces are taken care of as well. So
It's really not so much about our parking, but if they're trying to do for paying a fee.
I get
They
you.
can pay a fee over here too. They park all up on the grass and they stay up in our areas on our grass in front of our house to sit in their cars and watch the parade. Yes.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, and they pass the bus. So do.
So their speed bumps, not in the main. Okay.
And then when them school buses come and put that thing out, you know, now they got the teacher that gets off the bus with them. And she comes stand in the road until the kids get off the bus, and I guess it take the people behind the bus too long. And they come around, and the lady be coming out, and the kids be coming across. They almost hit one of my kids one day.
So one of the things that we want to do, and Patrice talked about this, is that resident council. All of these are great projects for the resident council to get involved in. One of the things that I really believe in, you all have to police your own community.
Yes.
And if somebody can be out here taking name tag, putting down tag numbers, because we can't do it all. And so these are great resident council opportunities.
Yep.
And I just want to say real quick, Angela, you probably know, 2 years ago, when we had the active president council here, the Searcy council president was able to police, and they were able to get patrols in the morning, so they
Yeah,
had
we
someone
had-
here.
Mhm.
That was, right? So,
Yeah, we had that problem before, Michelle.
Uh-huh.
She, because when they were having problems with people like, Ms. Jones said, going around the food bus. And that's dangerous because you got little kids that's running across the street. They might, these people flying down the street,
That sign on the bus say stop.
and
That's
they
what
don't
it
stop.
means.
I've seen it when my granddaughter get on the bus,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
some of the kids coming from on, not the side I stay on, but the other side, and then
Right.
the bus, the kids trying to get across the street, get on the bus, and I guess it's taking the bus too long, and they just, like Ms. Jones said, they just go around the bus and keep on going.
Yeah, that's definitely a hazard. So again, we got 3 good projects that I really, with the exception of the train, that's something that we really don't talk to the mayor about. But the speeding through the neighborhood, the buses, and making sure the parking is taken care of, those are really some good neighborhood projects that we can come and we don't want you to be a resident council without support. We're gonna help and make sure that you have the support that you need.
And I just want to just say, because we is a community, like, I call myself community watch out here. You know, my kids done been in trouble, they done did some things too, but we all need to, I know we had a girls' night, we had a boys' night, but we need to all, I just believe as us single mothers, or if you ain't single, however it go, we all need to put our young girls and little boys together. Because these kids out here, they cause fighting playing. And I don't do that. So I fuss their kids, out here and stuff, try to keep them right. And you can't go talk to their parents sometimes because their parents ain't, don't want to handle the situation. So I just believe this out of the boys, like the girls, like, can we get like a little team program or something, for these kids? I started, if that's what.
Well, I know one of the things that Vanessa and I talked about is making sure that we open up this building for services.
Yes.
And there used to be, like I said, I know the Boy Scout was here at one time, the Boys and
Yes,
Girls
still
Club has
is.
been over here at one time. We're working on a plan to get some services. So one of the first things I said is we gotta have programs
Yes.
for the kids. And so that's another project I think would be
And a
great.
curfew, can we get a curfew?
Nah, I can't.
Can't
do
get
it.
a curfew. Because some of these kids.
Now, I will say this, you mentioned it,
Shoot.
and I'm gonna go there just for a second. You talked about if you're single or if you're not.
Yes,
If you're not, make sure the not is on the lease.
yes, sir.
Because a lot of times that gets you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that when you
Oh, yes, oh,
boot
yes.
up, that boot is on that lease. Because that is a tremendous problem. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean to offend, but we gotta make sure that we take care of our property.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure we take care of our property.
Mhm.
It's temporary housing.